Welcome to Taste Buds. I'm Debra Eckerling, ghost strategist, writer, and foodie. And today I'm speaking with Steven Hoffen, who is founder of Growing Peace Inc. Welcome, Steven.
Hi, thank you so much for inviting me. It's an honor to be here.
You created this wonderful organization that's basically helping feed people.
Yeah, so I founded an organization in 2021. It's called Growing Peace Inc. And what we do is we install these these basically gardening or food production systems called hydroponic systems. We install them and put them in communities of needs that they can grow their own fresh, healthy produce.
That is so cool. And you are 16.
Yeah, 16.
You've been doing this for years. So what inspired Growing Peace?
Yeah, so what originally inspired me was um it goes all the way back to the summer of 2019 when I took a trip to Israel and I visited an organization there called Sindyanna of Galilee. And what they do is they try to create peace between Jewish and Arab communities in Israel by engaging women from each group in different sorts of activities, hoping that they would collaborate with one another and find common ground. The following year, during the summer of 2020, I learned about Sindyanna's hydroponics project, where they would install hydroponic systems like I do in the homes of Jewish and Arab women. And then they set up like an online platform where they could connect, share tips, share pictures. And so that's how they created collaboration between the two communities. And so during that summer, I created a film called Growing Peace in the Middle East about Indiana and their efforts, their mission, but then specifically also about their hydroponics project. And then since 2021, late 2021, since I founded my organization, I've been installing hydroponic systems in Israel, but mainly in my local area in New York.
Wow, it's probably needed everywhere. It's such a big project. So, how did you really hone in on who gets help first?
Yeah, so I guess each project was kind of inspired by different things. So my first project, and it's my only project in Israel actually, was an installation at a food pantry in Tel Aviv that services Eritrean and Sudanese asylum seekers. And so that was brought to me like as like a sort of like proposal basically. I was introduced to the food pantry by another organization, Volcani. They're an agricultural organization in Israel. They saw my film and they wanted to introduce me to this food pantry. And I thought it would be the perfect place for a hydroponic system. And then in New York, I started installing systems there after a woman named Topeka Sam spoke at an assembly at my school. What she does and what her organization does is they basically try and help women coming out of incarceration find jobs, get education, that sort of thing. And so I was inspired by her mission. I wanted to collaborate with her on a project. So that's where I started installing in New York. And kind of all of my connections led to future projects in essence.
So, how does it work? You either discover a place that needs these hydroponic towers, or do people find you, or is it a little bit of both?
It's a little bit of both. Like, for example, um, I guess it's mostly people like referring me. So I guess I recently installed a system earlier this year at the Edgecombe Residential Treatment Facility in New York. And the superintendent there referred me to the superintendent of another prison, um, the Queensboro Correctional Facility. And now we have a system there as well. And similarly, Topeka Sam and the LOHM introduced me to the Edgecombe Correctional Facility. So it's kind of all of my connections building off of one another. And helping me bring my systems and my sites to new places.
Grow your system,
Yeah.
literally, figuratively, food. Why food?
I think food generally, especially in Israel, has the capacity to create peace and collaboration between communities, but also it's just on the basic level, it's a human necessity. And despite that, so many people are food insecure in Israel, in New York City especially, and in so many places across the world. And once I learned about hydroponics, I was so captivated by the technology and by its ability to produce food so efficiently and sustainably that I wanted to take advantage of what I had learned, and of the technology that already existed to help people.
So, what is the ultimate vision for this? I mean, you're 16, you're just getting started, and you've been doing this for 5 years. So, you must have really big dreams for this.
Yeah. Well, I guess right now we have 7 systems up and running. The one in Israel and then 6 across New York. I guess as far as goals go, I really want to continue installing hydroponic systems wherever I can, potentially branching out of just a city, maybe to other states even, or potentially other countries. And then I'm also looking up to potentially setting up a board of directors that can help me manage future projects, manage current projects, and that'll also help me out with longevity of growing peace and continuing it even as I get a little busier.
And also, college. I'm sure you get this question all the time. Is it business or is it environmental studies or is it Jewish studies? What do you think? And you can change. This does not have to be your like forever answer. I'm just curious what goes on in the head of someone who is really, ahead of his time, especially for his age.
Yeah, I guess I do want to go to college, pursue further education. And as far as what I'm interested in, I don't exactly know what I want to study, but I know what I'm intrigued by. I like filmmaking. I like environmental science. I like engineering. I like sustainability, agriculture, climate change. So all those different things, I'll have to see where that takes me. But at least I guess I know what I want to pursue, and whatever I end up doing in college, I hope that I can continue to pursue my passions.
Well, we do have some pretty good film schools in LA, just kind of throwing that out. Where did this love of food and giving, where did all this come from?
I guess it really connects to Judaism and the values I get from Judaism, especially the idea of tikkun olam and giving back to the world and helping out my community. And so growing peace to me is really about trying to give back to my community and trying to help it out and make the world a better place by, whatever little I can do, is going to be helpful.
So, what is your absolute favorite Jewish food and why?
Man, that's a tough question. There's so many good options.
Okay, your top
I
three.
guess, I guess, I like a classic chicken matzo ball soup, but I find that best matzo balls are always made on Passover. The ones that aren't made on Passover never taste as good. Um, and I like cholent. That's probably my favorite. And then maybe some chicken schnitzel. But
Damn it.
I can't rank them. They're all just so good. I'm just thinking of the stuff I eat on Shabbos. Well, just so good.
And you are a New Yorker, so I have to ask if you have a bagel philosophy. So, what is your favorite bagel and what do you put on it?
Oh my gosh, my family loves bagels, but and I might get some criticism for this, but I honestly just like a plain bagel, just toasted with some cream cheese, maybe scallion cream cheese, but I like to keep it simple, honestly.
There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Do you remember your earliest food or cooking memory?
Honestly, I don't do too much cooking myself, honestly. My brother likes cooking, and I try to help him out as much as I can, but you know, I'm not a big cooking guy. I'm more of a, I guess, I really like experiences, and I like having meals with my family, Shabbos meals, Passover meals, that sort of thing. And maybe the biggest thing that comes to mind right now is the break fast most recently, from Yom Kippur. That's just the first thing that pops into mind. But yeah.
Now, do you go and you work at the places that you install the hydroponics?
Yeah, okay. So from our 7 systems, over the past 3 years, I've been volunteering during the school year each week at one or two of them. And this year I'll be volunteering Mondays and Thursdays at the Edgecombe Residential Treatment Facility and then also at the Queensboro Correctional Facility. Um, Volunteering a couple hours there just to help maintain the systems. Um, and yeah, I do love kind of getting on the ground and helping out to maintain the hydroponic systems because that's uh getting that hands-on experience is what's really fun to me.
And is that really what got you started on all that? When your trip to Israel, like working the land and being part of that kind of community of growth?
Yeah, I guess learning about the way that Sindyanna was using hydroponics and growing produce to help people, that's what inspired me to think that I could potentially do the same in my own community to battle similar issues.
You're doing all these different good things to give what are simple ways other people, um, can help their own community?
Yeah, I guess it's a tough question, but I feel like obviously if you're not interested in pursuing something that's very super large, like trying to create your own organization or start your own initiative, I guess, maybe you might want to try donating to the local food pantry to help them out. Friendly fridge is a big thing in New York City where people can kind of just pick up food from these local fridges that are set up. Just giving out to the poor, whatever you can do really to help out. Whatever you think is right and whatever you're capable of is what's best.
Do you remember the first time that you heard the concept of tikkun olam?
Um, uh, First time I heard the concept of tikkun olam, it was probably sometime. Well, I used to go to a Jewish school. I went to the Abraham Joshua Heschel School up until 8th grade. And then starting 8th grade, I transferred to Riverdale, which is where I'm at right now. Um, but it was definitely some time during my classes at Heschel where I was introduced to the topic of Tikkun Olam. And yeah, that's where I learned about it. And that's when I started with Sindhyana, that's when I kind of decided I wanted to continue pursuing Tikkun Olam.
You make it sound so easy, "Oh, I discovered this. It was cool. I wanted to help more." And a lot of people, they're very busy. They don't have the time or the wherewithal, to either start something up or, do what they can to repair the world. What words of wisdom do you have for kids and grown-ups alike?
Yeah, definitely. So I guess the biggest piece of advice I would give to anybody who is potentially looking to start their own initiative is to try and find out what you're really passionate about. For me, that was hydroponics specifically, but generally it's sustainability, it's agriculture, that sort of thing, food insecurity. And so you have to find what you're passionate about because that is what you're going to work the hardest to achieve, and that's what you're really going to try and pursue. And that's where you're gonna inevitably make the most impact.
And if you don't wanna do something big,
If you don't want to do something big, like I said, I think uh, you might want to try and help out other people who do have their own initiatives and who are helping people. Or you can just do something more local, donate to your food pantry, just give to charity, tzedakah, that sort of thing. Whatever you can do and whatever you're capable of, if it seems like it's the right thing to do, it probably is.
I love that for sure. What is it about hydroponics that make them so special?
Yeah, so I guess hydroponics is I can give a quick explanation. It's basically this new method of agriculture where plants are given the nutrients that they need to survive and to grow through nutrient-rich water rather than through soil. And because of this, hydroponics has so many benefits regarding sustainability. It uses 80 to 90% less water, uses up less space, doesn't use pesticides or chemicals. There are just so many new benefits that don't appear in traditional farming that make hydroponics just so good.
Do you have any final food for thought on, staying motivated and passionate and sharing the things that you love with the world?
Um, I guess, like I said earlier, I really want to encourage people to start up their own initiatives and to help others. And I hope that I can be an inspiration for others to get out there and start helping their community.
Well, that I think you are doing already. So good job. Thank you, Stephen. Where can people learn more about you and Growing Peace?
You can go to my website, growingpeaceinc.org. That has all of my social media information about current and potentially future projects, and then also my film trailer, that sort of thing. So that's kind of the central.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, Stephen Hoffen, for taking the time to talk today. Thank you for tuning in to Taste Buds with Deb. Don't miss an episode. You can subscribe on YouTube, iTunes, and or your favorite podcast platform. And you can go to jewishjournal.com/podcast to read the articles that go with each episode. And you can learn more at tastebudswithdeb.com. So go grow something, whether it is vegetables, herbs, or business, but do what you can to help others. Until next time, bon appetit.